I'm still trying to. Oh, looks like we've got Smack and Cheese for Madison. Looks like we've got Ice Hurt skating again for Windy City Rollers.
We're getting a little bit of a rotation here from Windy. It's been a slightly longer rotation from Madison if they are going with a set. Windy with lead. Ice Hurt. About half a track in advance of Smack and Cheese is going to come cooking around the turns here. Thrill Show knocking Ice Hurt out on turn 1, so they're going to go ahead and call it off. A little discussion among the refs here about if there were points at the end for Windy. And none. A 0-0 jam. Nicholas Rage back on the line for Windy City, and Amperslam for Madison. These last two jammers for Madison, Amperslam and Smack and Cheese, newer skaters moving their way up the roster. I don't think they've only just started playing with the A teams this year as we've returned.
Okay.
Both have made pretty impressive progress in the long off season, let's say. Both accomplished skate park skaters now as well.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of, Amperslam gets the first lead of the game for Madison. Nicholas Rage still stuck in the back behind Bada Boom Box. Some nice offense there for Windy City. Oh, but stopped in her tracks by Battle Frog, recycling Nicholas Rage back just behind the pivot line. Meanwhile, Amperslam back around to score some points for Madison. And gets through with 4 points. There has been a star pass by Windy, though. Shake and Bake gonna take that, and that's gonna be enough for Amperslam to call it off. So a 4-0 jam in favor of Madison.
Yeah, that Madison needed that one for that jam, so big jam for Madison.
Nice little momentum shift there. Not that things have gotten totally out of hand. They've been scoring
Right.
points. It's just, you want to get those lead calls.
Yes, the score now is 12-18 in favor of Windy City Rollers, Team A.
Dark Horse on the line, blasts through to get another lead status for Madison up against Tricky Pixie for Windy City, who's still stuck, manages to get through, finds an outside line. Hello Sailor laying on the hurt in turn 2, but Tricky Pixie brushes it off and gets through. Meanwhile, Dark Horse scores the first 4 points of this jam for Madison. I'm just curious to see if they're going to rely on their defense to hold off Tricky Pixie. No, they're going to let this jam go. So Chicago will score. A forearm call on Hello Sailor will send her to the box. So 4 points for Chicago on that pass. Dark Horse still stuck in the pack at turn 3. Going to call it off, though, before another pass can happen, and they're going to get 3 points.
I like that. I like the courageousness and the confidence of not calling it off when
challenged.
yeah.
It's always it's a real judgment call. Meaning you were like, is my defense going to be able to hold them? Do I think I can get through quickly? Do I want to risk some of those points?
Right.
It's still a close enough game though. 22 for Chicago, 19 for Madison. So why not give it a shot?
Right.
That's Karma Sutra back on the line for Madison. Ice Hurt for Windy City. Ice Hurt in the front. Getting a little pack breakage. Out of play block to one-hit Wanda, so Madison down a blocker. Both jammers through. Windy does have lead, and it's a race. Sucha eyeballing Ice Hurt there. Pack moving very fast. I feel like it's 2012 all over again, baby. Such through, and Ice Hurt also through. 4 and 4. The Pack's reconfiguring it at turn 4. Such with a nice little hop over the inside line. You do love to see it. Ice Hurt also through, taking the outside line. Such coming through for another scoring pass. Gets through Buttercup, who was hoping for a call there, didn't get it, so 4 points for Madison. Ice Hurt now in the pack. Gets knocked to the inside by one-hit Wanda, and decides she doesn't want to get recycled again. I can relate. It's no fun, so goes and calls it off. So that is a 12-12 jam.
This is the kind of bout I like, where it's nice and close each time, and it's evenly matched.
Yeah, so far, very tight game. Nat Splat jamming for Madison. Nicholas Rage for Windy. Someone in the comments noting, good job to Windy for dealing with this slick track. Yeah, this sport court here is wily, let me just say. Nat Splat. No, that was going to be a no pass, no penalty. It is, in fact, a cut. So Nat Splat will go to the box for Madison. That is going to be a power jam and a lead call for Windy City. Could be an opportunity to open up that lead a little bit more. Chicago was down one blocker, but both teams will be at full strength momentarily. Nicholas Rage gets through for 4 points on the far straightaway.
Speaking of Nicolas Rage, have you seen the new Nicolas Cage movie? It is a delight.
Which one is the newest one?
It's like something like The Tremendous Weight of Massive Talent or something, and he plays himself, and it's fantastic.
Oh, I have not seen this. I saw Pig, which I enjoyed thoroughly, but I haven't seen that one. I think that's the one where they have a conversation about how great the movie Paddington 2 is.
Yes, that's a fun scene.
Okay. I've been hearing, I'm a big fan of a podcast called the Bechdel Cast, and they're huge fans of Paddington, and I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but now I have this further incentive. For some reason, I saw that scene, but I have to see the rest of the movie, clearly. Meanwhile, in roller derby, Nat Splat back on the track for Madison. Look, it's been a while, you guys. We haven't had a chance to hang out and commiserate, talk about movies. You will forgive us. I do believe this jam is going to go the full length because we missed something.
But that's on me. That's on me.
I'm not mad. That was a lot of sound and fury, and it looks like at the end, Windy will come out on top. 4-3. So signifying something. Literary references early in the morning on a Saturday. Smack and Cheese back on the line for Madison, and that's going to be Buttercup jamming for Windy. Is that the first time Buttercup has jammed this game?
Yes, I believe it is. Why do you build me up, Buttercup?
Oh, Smack and Cheese finds a wide open space on the inside line, is through with lead for Madison. Buttercup facing off with Sailor at the very front and does get through. So got about a track's length to catch up. Windy doing a great job of shutting down Smack and Cheese on her first pass, however. Tricky Pixie, trying to see numbers here. Cat Make Me. The blockers for Windy holding up Smack and Cheese at the back here near the pivot line. Buttercup also stopped up behind Crystal Ice. I was going to say Woody, but Hellwoods, nicknames, man, and One Hit Wanda for Madison. So we're just grinding it out here on the between turn 1 and 2. No one finding any daylight yet. Oh, I eat my words. Smack and Cheese gets through for 4 points. Buttercup not too far behind, though, for Windy. Both jammers engaging the packs in the far straightaway now. Sailor rejoining after a penalty, goes up to try to play some offense for Smack and Cheese, but that Windy City tripod holding together pretty well. But they are broken apart. One hit Wanda, nice little offense there. Smack and Cheese through for 4 for Madison. Sailor back to the penalty box for Madison. Buttercup playing a little jammer on jammer offense at the back there. And then gets recycled back by One Hit Wanda. An unpleasant position to be in. I've been there many times. But she's fighting through it. juking and weaving through that pack, trying to make her way, and it looks like that jam will come to an end. Smack and Cheese also working hard at the front. That was hard-working jammers, both. And we've got, looks like a timeout being called by Windy. That jam was 11-8 in favor of Madison.
That's right. That's Dairyland Dolls with 45, and Windy City Rollers with 50 points.
So what are you seeing so far?
I'm seeing a lot of really close stuff. I'm seeing. It's a close game. Madison has only had taken lead jammer status 3 times so far, but they're keeping the game close.
Yeah.
So Windy City doing a good job getting the jammer out of the pack early, but both teams doing a good job putting points on the board, and a lot of good effort on both sides.
Yep, you do love to see it. So we'll take a little time to chat here. There's a small audience at Fast Forward you can't see over to the left of the screen here. It's a friends and family only kind of situation. Madison is currently on the hunt for a venue of our own because there's a very good chance we're about to lose Fast Forward as a venue. So I'm just going to put in a plug. Head to MadisonRollerDerby.org if you have some extra scratch laying around. Donate to the venue fundraising that's going on, trying to find a space, as so many roller derby leagues around the world are trying to do right now, so that we can have public games someday again. There's going to be Amperslam jamming for Madison and Tina Fatal for Windy. Real melee off the line here coming into turn 1, but it is going to be Tina Fatal finding the inside line just open enough to get lead for Windy. And a successful star pass to the Pivot Thrill Show for Madison. A whole bunch of pack naughtiness there getting called by the refs. You know, it's been a while. We forget how to keep the pack together sometimes. Things get really excited and heated, and you're like, I want to skate, and then it falls apart. It's been long enough. I feel like I have to invent new weird announcer phrases.
I like pack naughtiness.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
That is Dark Horse jamming for Madison and Ice Hurt for Windy City. We have graphics. Big shout out to John Lane, of course, for setting up the stream for us this morning and being an overall roller derby wizard.
It's like Dark Horse heading to the penalty box, making this a solo jam for Ice Hurt.
Power jam. It was 3-on-3 blockers there, but all the blockers have now been released from the penalty box. Ice Hurt making pretty quick work of that pass. Going to get 4 points to call it off. At the end there, a multiplayer call going to a blocker from Windy, so they will start down 1 blocker on the next jam.
And this will be a power jam start with Dark Horse starting the jam in the penalty box. Dark Horse, of course, for skating for Madison.
Dark Horse, a veteran skater of the Dairyland Dolls A team for many seasons now.
So it looks like Nicholas Rage lining up on the jammer line for Windy City.
Ooh, some fancy footwork on the inside line. Nicholas Rage manages to basically spin through heavy defense for Madison to get lead. Didn't take too long. Dark Horse also back on the track. Dances her way through the pack. So she will be putting on the pressure now, and we'll see what Nicholas Rage decides to keep it going. 4-4. Oh, Dark Horse taking out one of your own players to get through. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You got to sacrifice. You got to make sacrifices, right?
Those are those moments where I'm like mad for a hot second as a blocker, and then I'm like, no, it's cool. Go ahead.
Yep.
My bad, I was in the way. So, even Steven, 8-8 on that jam.
Nate to Nate on that jam.
For some reason, now I want you to write a song called Nate to Nate, like Heart to Heart.
Okay, I will be back on the second half with that song.
Go forth and write music right now. Oh, we got a little, looks like maybe an official timeout. Yep. This is also a good opportunity for me to dust off recognizing all the hand signals and everything. It's been a little while, Nate.
Yes. Yeah, I forget things about the sport. Like where's the ball? Are they on roller blades? I think my mom still thinks that this sport has roller blades.
Yeah, I think that's the number one comment I got. I was like, oh, and I think people I've told many times, these roller blades? No! No shade. We have a couple of officials who use them. Karma Suture on the line for Madison. I can't see the Windy jammer there. Tucked in. Tina Fatal for Windy. Oh, a multiplayer block being assessed to Tina Fatal, so this is going to be a power jam opportunity for Karma Suture and Madison. Such trying to find, gets hit to the outside, stops themselves, gets wound back by Nasty Al, I believe. Woohoo! Some breakdancing on the track. There it is. Such now through with lead. That was some heavy defense from Chicago. Took about 40 seconds to get through on that lead call.
Tina Fatal out of the box, heading for the pack. Being held up by a tripod of blue.
One hit Wanda tries to stop Tina Fatal. Oh! But Tina is able to get through. No points. Madison very jubilant about that one. 4 points. 3, my apologies, on that pass.
Still a very close game. 10-point difference between Windy City and Dairyland Dolls. And you can see the score there on the screen right in front of you that we noticed only recently.
Look, we were distracted by the roller derby happening in person in front of us, but I am always impressed at what I should say John manages to put together for our streams.
Right.
Last minute sometimes too, man. Smack and Cheese jamming for Madison. Oh, finds an open line, but gets almost stopped up at the front. Does get lead, but gets passed by Ice Hurt for Windy. The bench coach telling Smack and Cheese to just go ahead and keep going, so it's going to be up to Madison's defense to make that worth it. But Ice Hurt is going to get through for 4. Smack and Cheese also through now for 4. Madison going to lose their pivot to a forearm call and the box. Oh, Rich Mahogany saying very nice things about us in the chat.
Oh,
thanks,
sweetie,
pal.
Sweetie Rich.
One of the best, y'all. One of the best. We got a big pile up on the outside. The far straightaway. Doesn't look like any penalties will result from it. Smack and Cheese looks like maybe it was a little bit of a rough one, though.
Say this about Rich Mahogany. He manages to keep that mustache good even with the mask. He'll take the mask off and then he has the presence of mind to do the mustache maintenance.
I was just going to say, does he like glue it in place?
I think he uses some wax. I'm not sure.
One would assume. One would assume. Oh! No problem there for Nasty Al on the inside lead jammer for Windy. Amperslam jamming for Madison, still stuck behind all 4. Now just 3 Windy blockers. Nasty Al is back around on the first scoring pass. Meanwhile, Amperslam, manages to just miss a hit to the outside and get through. Meanwhile, Nasty Al being recycled back by Bada Boombox. Gonna go ahead and call that one off. Madison will be down a blocker to start the next jam. So you'll notice the shirts that Madison are wearing all say the Herd as opposed to Dairyland Dolls. This has been part of like the Unity ticket, let's call it, as Madison has come back to gameplay a much more open and mixed rostering just to bring people back up to speed and give everybody a shot to play.
Oh, nice. I was actually wondering about that, so thank you.
Yeah, so it's the herd. It's like everybody. It's the whole league. Obviously, we've got like ABC rosters and things, but it's been really fun to see different people getting a shot to play at this level. So that is going to be Windy City with lead. Nicholas Rage jamming. Dark Horse still stuck in the pack at turn 1, but does get through. That's going to be 4 points for Windy and Nicholas Rage. They're going to go ahead and call it. Windy slowly opening up a bit more of a lead here.
That's right. It's now a 20-point difference here. Still in the first half. Jam 16.
Yeah, we got 7.5 minutes to go, so still very much anybody's game. Windy got a little bit of a momentum on their side right now, though.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see if Madison can make up that gap or what they're gonna, or not.
Karma Sutra on the line for Madison. Tricky Pixie for Windy. I want to say Trixie Pixie.
I do too. Like
it's not right. I know.
Well, that's being a Tricky Pixie. Tricky Pixie take leading jammer status.
Oh, that is a cut. I watched it happen right in front of me. And then Cupcake Battering saw it too. So that is a cut call on Tricky Pixie heading to the box. So it is a power jam for Karma Sutra and Madison. Buttercup, the only blocker at the front, but Karma Sutra does get through. Yeah, just enough fancy footwork not to cut that track. We got low blocker counts on the track right now. Just 2 for Madison, 3 for Windy. Some quick offense on the inside there. Oh, but really nice rejoining of the pack from D-Ride coming out of the box is like, nope, I'm going to plug that hole. But unfortunately, D-Ride being sent back to the box for trouble. Tricky Pixie back on the track for Windy in the far straightaway. Such just through with 4 points, but that's 4 points for Windy as well. Madison up by 4 in this one, 8-4. Packs are moving into the near straightaway now, moving pretty fast. Some jostling for position here. Gonna make the jammers really put in their work just to catch up. Such getting knocked to the inside by Buttercup. Buttercup knocked out by Woody. So Such is able to do like a half recycle instead of a full recycle. Both jammers through. That evens up the score on this jam. Woo! Ooh, a final point there from Madison at the very end. That's how important it is to like never stop.
Never stop. Skate through the whistle.
Yep. Don't stop till you get enough. Mm-hmm. I have songs go through my head when I jam all the time. It's just that's how I operate. So 73 for Madison now, 92 for the Windy City Rollers A team. Meredith Boyle, we see you. Very glad that you are tuning in from afar. Super glad that we could share this with the world. Share the links with your friends, please. Share the Derby love. We got a little bit of a timeout. Show Nuff showing off his guns right now for the timeout. No, look at the nice times in the track. Weenie's in a nice little hug huddle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the officials have talked about what they needed to talk about.
Yep.
What do you think they were talking about?
I think they were talking about Rich Mahogany's mustache. No, honestly, I don't know.
No, that's improv.
Yeah,
We can make up whatever we want.
Right.
All right, we are back at it. Nat Splat jamming for Madison. Ice Hurt for Windy. Someone got a false start. No. Demand a beating heading to the box for Windy. Both jammers still stuck behind some fearsome defense on the first straightaway here. Ice Hurt manages to pull some fancy footwork around and grab lead status for Windy. And a star pass to the pivot thrill show for Madison springs their jammer. Madison with making good use of the star passes. I really think that's like, despite not getting probably as many lead calls as Windy, doing a really good job of seeing when that's happening and immediately passing the star to get their jammer through so they can put the pressure on and make sure that Windy doesn't just have like so much time to get through.
Right, it's that track awareness where you're paying attention to what's going on regardless, and you're ad-libbing like you're an announcer. You're ad-libbing out there. Something happens, so you change change your plan.
Right. Yeah, you got to be super aware. That's gonna be Smack and Cheese jamming for Madison and Nicholas Rage again for Windy. Oh, wow. Meredith is tuning in from Australia. Good on ya.
Land of drop bears.
Hate a drop bear, man. The worst. Nicholas Rage pushing out front, turn 2, dealing with some defense. Gets a little offensive love tap there, though, from Demand a Beating to get through. So lead jammer to Windy. Smack and Cheese is through, though. A little less than half a track behind, so this will be a close one. Woo! Windy getting through for 4 points, calls it off emphatically, and looks like there's going to be a little conference between the refs to see if there's any points for Madison on that one. 1! Once again, don't stop until the very end.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Yep. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining me on that.
Yep, there's a call back there.
Yeah, how late is it in Australia? Man, that's... is it? It's not tomorrow yet, is it?
Yeah, and there's there's 4 time zones there too. So which depending on which coast.
Yeah. It's a big country continent. All right, lead jammer going to Windy City and Tricky Pixie. Low block being assessed to someone on Windy City. D-Ride headed back to the box. Meanwhile, Amperslam still stuck in the pack behind Windy City. Tripod at turn 1. Takes her helmet cover off, but the pivot has other things to do right now. A little bit of offense there from Crystal Ice trying to break Amperslam through, but Windy City doing a really good job of holding on. Blockadale Dundee. Nasty Al. Blockers for Windy. There we go. There's the star pass. Thrill Show taking the star for I don't know how many times that's been now. So Tricky Pixie going to call it off with 3 points on the jam for Windy, and that tips them over into the century mark and beyond.
Looks like Meredith is on the East Coast, so it is 1 a.m.
That's awesome. Thank you for tuning in and your dedication to roller derby and your pal. Shout outs to you. Dark Horse, number 74. Nope, that's the score. Dark Horse for Madison gets through with lead for Madison. Breaking the streak. Tina Fatal for Windy now through as well. Dark Horse on the first scoring pass at turn 1. Finds an inside line, trips through, calls it off. And that's going to be a low block in the meantime for Demand a Beating. I think that is what sent Dark Horse spilling over, but does get the full 4 points for Madison. Sometimes you really got to suffer for every single point. So Windy will start with 3 blockers, Madison with 4. Madison sending Karma Sutra out to the line again. And that is going to be... Boy, I'm used to shake and bake. Shake and bake for Windy. I'm used to getting to know skaters. I can usually see their face and get to know them over time, even though I'm not familiar with the roster. But obviously the masks make that an extra challenge. So I'm really trying to look at numbers today, which I should do anyway. But
Right.
So Such was almost... Oh, Such did get through and get lead, but got recycled back. Shake and bake now through on initial. Well, Madison tries to play some offense. Such is like, I think I've got a couple points at least. No points for Madison on that pass. But we are at halftime intermission. Woohoo! So, score stands at 102. Windy City Rollers, Dairyland Dolls at 78. Nate, what are you seeing in the stats that you've been tracking?
Well, I'm keeping track myself, so I don't know how accurate this is.
We do our best.
But it looks like we have considerable, like we've mentioned before, considerable lead gems in favor of Windy City. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 10. 16 lead jams for Windy City versus 7 for Madison. Top jammers in terms of getting lead jammer status being Ice Hurt and Nicholas Rage. But both teams doing an incredible job. I can't imagine skating in Derby is hard anyway, but then breathing through masks is difficult as well. I'm sweating up here and I'm just standing. So, what are you seeing?
Same thing, and I think it comes back to that talking about Madison doing a really good job of passing the star as quickly as possible. So, Windy, you can definitely see the momentum still definitely been on their side with all those lead calls and a couple of larger jams opening up a bit of a lead, but it's not insurmountable by any means. And I'm not even saying that in the I'm being kind announcer way. Not insurmountable. There's a whole half left in the game. Madison with really good awareness and when to pass the star. If they can start getting a few more lead calls, I've been seeing more active offense out of them, which is really good. So anything could happen in the second half, but right now I would say the momentum is on Windy's side. So we will see what happens. We've got about 8 minutes left. So y'all go freshen up, grab some breakfast and or a midnight snack, depending on where you are. I really wish the slush puppy machine was working right now, but alas, it is not. I just noticed that in the shot. So we'll be back in a little bit to walk you through the second half of this game, and then we've got a B game after that, which you don't want to miss because that's all the great up and coming talent in both of these leagues.
Right, and so that's Hammer Abbey.
That's Assassinate.
Yep, and we'll be back in about 7.5 minutes.
Ta.
All right, we're starting up the second half. It is 102 to 78 in favor of Windy City. Once again, I'm Assassinate.
I'm Hammer Abby.
And let's take a look at what's going on down on the track.
Got a few moments here. I love people checking in the chat where you're from. If you want to pop in the chat, where are you streaming in from? I see Eastern Kentucky. Big love to Eastern Kentucky right now, facing those horrible, horrible floods. There's a lot of opportunities to donate to local mutual aid and relief organizations. I encourage you to do that if you can. But yeah, pop in. Let us know where you're streaming in from. We'd love to know. It's going to be Dark Horse on the line for Madison. Ice Hurt for Windy as we get started in the second half of this game here at Fast Forward Skate Center in Madison, Wisconsin, hosted by Madison Roller Derby. One hit Wanda with a hit to the inside, going to drag Ice Hurt back, recycled behind the pivot line. That's going to give Dark Horse a moment to get lead jammer for Madison. That is the kind of momentum they're going to want to start this half up. Try to close that gap. Oh, an attempted apex jump. It's not going to work out, though. Dark Horse is looking at the ref like, Nope. I don't believe there's any points on that one, but the refs are talking about it. It was pretty. It was a good effort. No points. No points. Sometimes you just do it for the style.
Right. Yep, style points. I grant that 5 style points.
Ooh, you included the 5th jammer style point.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Long, all right, R.I.P. Karma Suture jamming for Madison. That's going to be Nicholas Rage for Windy. Nicholas Rage finding the line, not even a line, through a gap in the middle, going to get lead for Windy. Madison losing a blocker to the box. Such does have the helmet cover off, but hasn't passed it yet. Looking for an opportunity. While Nicholas Rage rages her way through to the first 4 points. Windy losing a blocker to the box. I think it was a direction of gameplay call. Nicholas Rage back now, engaging with a tripod of blue. Gets a little bit of offensive help there from D-Ride to try to break that up. Eventually does, gets another 4 points. Such, meanwhile, through. Did not pass the star. Packs are moving. Such is going to get through. Yeah, it's going to be some points for Madison. Windy losing another blocker to the box. Nicholas Rage through for another 4. So we got mini packs on both sides, 2 and 2. Madison and Windy. Such tries to take a little hop over the inside line, but gets knocked out and recycled back. Too far away to see who that was, but nice defense there from Windy. This is a high-scoring jam for Nicholas Rage, now up to 16 to Madison's 4. So Windy, even with just a few, now they've got 3 back on the track blockers, doing a really good job of holding up Karma Suture, who gets through 4 points.
That's right. Now it's 24 points. Big, big, big jam for Windy City.
That's got to be the highest-scoring jam of the game so far.
I believe it is. I'm not. Let me check with the stats. Yep. Yep.
Let's just say yes. Huge jam for Windy City. Continuing to hold on to that lead, 127 to 88, as that jam comes to its conclusion. So Madison going to need to shake it off, dust themselves off, see what they can do. We still got lots of time in this second half. Windy really cohesing as a team, though. Really nice offense-defense transitions here, helping their jammers out. Ooh, a little repositioning there before the whistle. That's going to be Nat Splat jamming for Madison and Tina Fatal for Windy and lead jammer. Nat Splat getting recycled back behind the jammer line. Meets Buttercup on the outside. Nat Splat has the helmet cover in her hand, has not passed it, looking to see if she can find a way through. Meanwhile, Tina Fatal through for 4 points for Windy. Nat Splat does now break free of the pain.
Natalie Splattley.
Is that her? That's her full given name.
That's her full. It's on her birth certificate.
Yeah. You know what else is on her birth certificate? 4 points. Tina Fatal up by 4. We're on the far straightaway now. Nats Platte meeting up against 3 Windy blockers. As the pivot, Buttercup is in the box. Madison with a 3 tripod in the back, leaving 1-hit Wanda up front. A little offense for Nats Platte brings her through. Tina Fatal getting recycled back. Gonna have to try that tripod again. Runs into Battle Frog like she is a brick wall, which she is. Buttercup now back on the track for Windy is gonna come up and try to play some offense on the in. Moves Battle Frog out of the way. Gets that tripod moving. Little bit of, but Rubarbarian knocking Tina Fatal out to the inside to start over on turn 4, and Nat Splat shaking her fist triumphantly on that pass. Hard-earned points from both jammers brings Madison to the century mark. So just down by 39 points now. There's a lot happening in that jam.
Right, yeah, and that was both jammers scoring 12. Just kidding. Windy City scoring 16 points on that jam. But Madison having a solid jam as well with 12 points.
Smack and cheese on the line for Madison. Ooh, but a nice quick through. Tricky Pixie finds the line. Lead jammer for Windy. Once again, really dominating the lead calls in this game. Oh, Tricky Pixie just coming into conclusion with Future Trauma. That's going to give Smack and Cheese just enough time to get through. The packs are cruising into the far straightaway. And Tricky Pixie going to get just 4 points and call it off. That was a fast and hard jam.
Just the way I like it.
Woo! Inappropriate! I'm all for it, though. It's Saturday morning. We haven't done this in a while.
Right.
Look, we're all just doing our best.
Punchy. We're a little punchy.
Yeah, I like punchy. I do say this lovingly. I want you to know I'm not insulting. I think we can get away with like a little innuendo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's roller derby.
It's roller derby.
We're all about innuendo. Amper Slam jamming for Madison. Ice Hurt for Windy. Ice Hurt will get lead. Just about the pivot line there broke through. So now Amper Slam left to deal with all 4 Windy blockers. Finds the inside line just open enough. Yep, saw the refs kind of talk to each other a little bit. A little nod. It's clean. It's clean. Ice Hurt now through on a scoring pass. Excellent offense there from Buttercup. And D-Ride to spring their jammer for 4 points. We're back to these low scoring, put the pressure on jams.
All right, and checking in on the chat, we've got people checking in from St. Paul, Minnesota. We got people checking in from Louisiana. People checking in from Chicago, of course. And as we mentioned earlier, we have people checking in from Kentucky and Australia.
Yeah, it'd be hard to compete with Australia for like furthest away person on the stream. But we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Dark Horse does not appreciate the defense she's coming up against here in turn 2. Nasty Al still stuck in the back behind 3 Madison blockers. Dark Horse getting lead jammer though, continuing her personal streak in this half of the game. And Windy losing 2 blockers to the box is going to make for a pretty easy pass for Dark Horse. Windy passing the star to the pivot. Dark Horse calling it off, however. Interesting choice on that one. And I don't say this judgmentally. I'm just interested. So, like, Madison had the momentum on their side. They were Windy was down 2 blockers. They will stay down 2 blockers for the start of this jam. Dark Horse, I assume, kind of the highest performing in terms of lead status and points in this game. The impression I've got. We're not keeping official stats here,
right.
So I could be wrong. But I think that's so interesting to call it off as opposed to taking advantage of that jam with a known quantity jammer who can really deliver. But it's going to be up to Such this time, jamming for Madison. Such is going to try to get through these 2. D-Ride, of course, doing an amazing job of one-on-one blocking at the front. But Such is through for lead. Nicholas Rage jamming for Windy City is also through, about a half track behind. Windy completely out of blockers right now.
Wow.
Completely out, but they had to send one back onto the track because the box was full. So things kind of going awry in penalty land for Windy.
It looks like Bork having some maybe mouth guard issues or bloody nose issues.
So that's actually D-Ride wearing Bork's jersey.
Just
Same
kidding.
number.
Yep, okay.
No, it says Bork on it. I only know this because I know Bork.
Okay.
But yeah, that's D-Ride today. Just throwing us off with jerseys.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a timeout on the track. I think I missed who called it. I would it's windy. Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you it was windy. Given that things went a little higgledy-piggledy there.
Right.
At the end with penalties, but they're going to have 2 blockers, and they do still have their jammer to start. So the team's conferring right now about what they want to do. Madison, full strength, no one in the box. Core fan, I see you with the virtual cowbell. Much obliged.
Core fan, one of the nicest dudes in Madison.
Yep. Excellent derby photographer as well. Big shout out to derby photographers for making us look good and capturing the memories.
Mm-hmm.
Often having to sit in really heinous positions for long periods of time to capture those memories. Big fan.
Today we have paparazzi taking pictures.
Speaking of like hardcore derby photographers, paparazzi has been basically the official Madison Roller Derby photographer since the jump. So Madison Roller Derby formed in 2004, one of the first leagues in the world to form in the Derby Renaissance. And I believe Papa had a daughter who no longer plays, but he has stuck around and he has been photographing for the ages. Super, super dedicated. Huge shout out to paparazzi.
I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me.
Oh, shoot.
Paparazzi. Little Lady Gaga for you guys.
Thank you, that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot of singing on the feed this morning, and I just want to thank everybody for bearing with us.
Yep. That's what they really tuned
That's
in
what,
for.
that's what they're here for. Not really the roller derby. It's just our ridiculous loopiness on a Saturday morning. So we are still in timeout, which makes me think this isn't just a team timeout, because I feel like we're past that point, time-wise. Okay, yep, there's a little wrangling on the track to make sure we have correct numbers. So there are 3 blockers in the box for Windy, which means just 1 blocker on the track to start this jam. Ooh, that is a tricky position to be in. We'll see what Windy does with it. They are putting out Cat Make Me as their sole blocker.
Officials are around track turn 1 looking for something on the track.
What did we lose? A contact lens? A bearing? Our minds?
A tooth.
A tooth. Ugh. I'm happy to say I've yet to be at a derby game where someone lost a tooth.
It's those mouth guards.
I did once watch a teammate of mine who wears hard contacts, I think because of astigmatism, she was jamming, lost the contact mid-jam,
Oh no.
and on the next pass, while skating, found it, picked it up, put it back in her eye, continued the jam.
That is amazing.
I both horrified and deeply
Wow.
impressed by that. I was a little misbehaving. Since retired for MRD, but a delightful skater. They're looking for bodily fluids. Yeah, that could very well be. I'm hoping no one lost any bodily fluids, however. So, this is the roller derby, I remember.
Yep.
The interminable timeouts. I'm not really sure what's going on. We had to get one of these at least. There's the signal from Eddie Lizard, though. We are wrapping up this timeout. All good. Everyone seems to have all of their bits and pieces, so that's good.
No loose teeth, no eyeballs.
Knock on wood. That's going to be Nat Splat sent to the line for Madison. And Tina Fatal for Windy. Oh, wow! Cat Make Me with the hit to the outside. The solo blocker holding on to Madison's jammer just long enough for Windy to get a couple more of their blockers back, or one more of their blockers back. There it is. Nat Splat now through for lead status for Madison. Windy picking up another. They've got Buttercup back as the pivot. Respectable, though.
Right.
Starting with one blocker. Still managing to slow things down just a little bit. And it looks like it's going to be a 3-1. 3-1 for Madison on that jam. Windy losing one blocker for skating out of bounds at the end of that jam, though. So still have a friend in the box. Had cleared it momentarily. I like to think that skating a mass is just like what, like Denver and Rocky have to do all the time. Skating at elevation. It's just like what it feels like.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Ice Hurt for Windy. Smack and Cheese jamming for Madison. Ice Hurt does find the opening. Oh, one hit Wanda. Does knock her out, but she got lead just before that happened. Doesn't like the looks of it, though. Understandably calls it off. You get a lead and you get knocked that far back, the other jammer's through. It's like, yeah, let's not do that.
Quit while you're, I was going to say quit while you're ahead, but you're
behind.
You're behind.
But kind of ahead.
Yeah.
It's really an existential question. Windy now up 156 to 111. That gap just getting a little bit bigger each jam. Amperslam jamming for Madison. Nicholas Rage for Windy. Nicholas Rage with lead. The Madison pack getting broken apart here as Amperslam tries to make her way through. Is now dealing with the tripod in turn one. Nicholas Rage, just like a ball of fury coming through on the inside line there. Batters her way through. You love to see a jammer who is both agile and fearsome.
Mm-hmm.
Not afraid to throw some shoulders, which, you pay for that in the end, but in the moment, it's worth it. It's the one benefit of the pandemic break for me is my shoulders healed, and I can sleep on them again.
Oh.
4 points for Windy. Nicholas Rage up to 8 on this jam to 0. Amperslam is through for a scoring pass, but has lost the helmet cover. Woody teammate sees that, hands it back to Slams, who's just going to have to hang out there behind the tripod to put that cover back on. Oh, it's always a bummer when that happens. Direction of gameplay call on Blockadale Dundee will head to the box. Nicholas Rage, meanwhile, through for another 4 points. Is Amperslam dealing with 2 blockers at the front, pushing through the second apex here. There's the opening. Whew, that looked like it took some work. She's got a second to catch her breath here. But Nicholas Rage being told to call it off by the bench coach. So Madison able to put some points on the board for that one, 4 to Windy's 13. Oh, it's that time. Windy City score. Nice. 169 to 115. Oh, and I hear a wild Nat Splat doing the Dark Horse Winnie to cheer on Dark Horse, who is now on the line for Madison. Be facing off against Ice Hurt for Windy. Dark Horse with a little jammer defense there, but pays for it, gets sucked back into the pack. Ice Hurt does have lead and is free. Pile up on turn 1. Everybody's back on their feet. Dark Horse putting on the Jets, though, trying to catch up to Ice Hurt as the packs start moving into the far straightaway. Looks like Windy will make up maybe a point. Let's find out. She came charging into the pack and called it off, and I'm not sure if she passed any hips before. And neither are the refs, apparently.
I didn't see anything.
I saw nothing. I'm a witness to no crimes. Lawyer. I need a lawyer.
4 points.
Picked up all 4. Impressive. Karma Sutra jamming for Madison. Tricky Pixie for Windy. Tricky Pixie finds the outside line. It's a nice open door. Gets lead for Windy. Such still in the pack. Got a couple more blockers to deal with as she comes, comes into turn 2. Tricky Pixie back around, dealing with a tripod of Madison blockers who have to reform the pack, but still holding on. And Such is now through on their scoring pass. We are hanging out in turn 2. Tricky Pixie does get through, calls it off with 4. Oh, just shy. That had to be a close call. No points for Madison at the end.
Yeah, that was... Tricky Pixie called that right before Karma Suture even made it to the Windy skaters.
Just barely. But good timing, good awareness. Good call by the bench coach. They've got a comfortable lead at this point. So Windy, really all they got to do is kind of just keep up the momentum and decent defense that they've been doing this whole time. Madison, a lot more to make up for here. It really needs to start getting some lead calls up there so they can work the clock to their advantage. Nat Splat jamming, gets some nice offense there from Bada Boombox, and Future Trauma is through for lead.
That's right. Shake and Bake sent to the penalty box. I didn't catch what for.
Some things happen in your peripheral vision sometimes. You just totally miss them. So, yeah, this is a power jam for Madison. Thank you for catching that,
Yep.
Nate. All right, it's a scoring pass in turn 1, but Nat Splat hit to the outside and dragged back by D-Ride. Oh, and it's what we like to call the sad place. All 3 Windy blockers in a tripod on Nat Splat. And meanwhile, Shake and Bake back on the track for Windy.
Shake and Bake, and I helped.
I feel like that's all of Shake and Bake's offense gets to say that.
Yep.
A single point for Madison. A single hard-earned point on that pass, but that's going to be 5 total on the jam, keeping Windy scoreless. So that's in the tune of what they need. Have to keep that up.
Just do more like that. Just do more like that, Madison. Or don't. Do what you want.
We like both these teams.
Well, yes,
Obviously, we're both Madison announcers. We're a little biased simply because we know the one team better, but we like them both. Fair is fair. We like to see some good roller derby. Windy's just been just a little bit tighter, a little bit more consistent so far. Lead jammer there to Nicholas Rage and Windy. Smack and cheese jamming for Madison, still stuck behind blockers on the first straightaway, gets hit out by the pivot line and recycled back.
Nicholas Rage just doing a really fantastic job this whole game.
Yeah, very solid skater. Like I said, both agile and tough on the track. Dealing with some really hard defense, but doesn't seem to have lost much of a step. All right, we got about 11 and a half minutes left in the second half of this game. And just a reminder, there will be a second game after this. The B team rosters will be headed on out to face off against each other. So if you want to make a whole morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are, of roller derby, stay here. We will walk you through that as well. And this is going to be Amber Slam facing off against Ice Hurt.
Both jammers still held up by... Oh, and that is Ice Hurt out through the pack. Another tremendous jammer that I've noticed this game.
Absolutely. I like as an announcer, you start saying something and then the thing changes as you're saying it.
Right.
It's hard to keep up.
And they're both stuck in the pack. Oh, nope, that's not true at all anymore.
Eat my words. So Ampersand was able to get through, put on the pressure so that Windy only picks up 4 points on that one.
$187. Isn't that the murder number? Anyway, Windy City
Oh,
at
yeah.
187. Dairyland Dolls at 120.
Is there like a skate gear company that's called 187? Don't I have pads that are 187s or something?
It is a skate gear company as well. Yes.
No sponsorship, but just trying to remember things here.
Right.
Dark Horse jamming for Madison, Nicholas Rage for Windy, and Dark Horse getting lead again. Again, the most consistent lead getter for Madison at this game, but Nicholas Rage hot on her heels. Like, really chugging to catch up. The pack now screaming through the far straightaway. Dark Horse puts her head down, picks up 3 points, calls it off. Really putting everybody through their paces with those fast jams.
Dark Horse is a very fast skater.
Yes. It's right there in the name. She's a racehorse.
Yep.
She's a pony. She can move. That's going to be Karma Sutra jamming for Madison. Tina Fatal for Windy. Tina Fatal around on the inside. Quick lead jam for Windy. Thrill Show, the pivot for Madison, trying to make a hole on the inside for Such. Also just there for the helmet pass. There it is. Thrill Show will become the jammer for Madison, while Tina Fatal, dealing with Madison's defense, gets some nice offense from Animal Lee. And Demand a beating at the back to pick up those points before having to call it off. Another quick and dirty jam. 4-0 for Windy on that one. 191 the total for Windy, 123 for Madison.
I was going to say I think that was the first star pass, but it wasn't.
Of the half?
Yes. Oh, of the half. Yes, it was. Yes. You know what? Forget I said anything. But if it was true, don't forget I said it.
I think it was the first star pass of this half, so I think you still get that.
We got Nat Splat on the line, along with Ice Hurt again. Ice Hurt taking lead jammer status.
Pack's getting a little bit spread out here in turns 1 and 2. Ice Hurt comes around for a scoring pass. Madison playing 2-on-2, and their blocker is broken up as in pairs of 2. Doing a pretty good job of holding Ice Hurt, who is now in the far straightaway. And will have to recycle back. Doesn't want to. I think there was a little bit of confusion about who was getting called for a penalty on that one. So lost some momentum and decided to call it off. Did get 4 points on that jam, though. Kept Madison scoreless. Really seen Windy opening up that lead, especially toward the very end of the first half of the game and now into the second half. Madison's struggling to put points on the board. Smack and Cheese jamming for Madison up against Nasty Al for Windy, who makes quick work of getting that lead status. Nasty Al around in a scoring pass up against 3 Madison blockers, 1 in the box currently. Getting a little offensive help there from Cat Make Me, but doesn't make it through. Has to recycle back behind Woody, Future Trauma, and Radio Smacktive. Smack and Cheese with the helmet cover in her hand. No pivot nearby to help out, though. And that is going to be a track cut called on Nasty Al, head into the box. So power jam for Madison, just as they pass the star to the pivot.
That's right, passing the star to Hell Woods right as that.
You got it. I got you. Take a breath. Take a breath. It's been a long time. You're doing great.
Thanks. My mind went blank.
Yeah, no, it happens. I also appreciate that you remember to call her Hell Woods as opposed to her nickname, which is Woody. Which is helpful for people on the stream.
Yes. I just think it's one of my favorite clever names as well.
Hell Woods?
Yeah.
It's a good one. Speaking of, 4 points for Hell Woods and Madison as Nasty Al gets back onto the track for Windy. Woody now just stuck between the tripod at the front of Windy. Nasty Al trying to batter her way through in the back, finds an outside line open finally on the far straightaway, is going to get through to answer 4 points. There is no lead in this jam, so it's that full 2 minutes. Looks like Hell Woods is through. 4 points. And that is the jam's natural conclusion.
And Windy City has passed the double century mark now. The bicentennial.
Woo! 203 to 131. Big cheers for Hell Woods on the bench over there from Madison. I believe that was the first time she had to wear the star in this game, so not too shabby, not too shabby. Amper Slam taking the star for Madison will face up against Tina Fatal for Windy. Oh, thank you, Amber B. Amber has been driving and listening to the stream and enjoying the dulcet tones of our voices. We will always take compliments. Much appreciated. And lead is going to be assessed to Tina Fatal coming out of turn 2 as the pivot for Madison. Thrill Show gets a multiplayer block, heads to the box. Amper Slam still stuck in the back. Does have the star in her hand now. And her glasses having some technical difficulties. 3 points for Windy on that pass. Looks like one of the people she passed was not valid.
Everyone is valid, Hammer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just mean like in you weren't a
Nope,
legit
too late. You already said it.
I'm so sorry. Track cut being assessed at the end there to Amper Slam, who still had the star in her hands. So this will be a power start for Windy. This is bad news for Madison at this point with that much of a lead opened up by Windy. Just going to have to play the best derby you can and have a good time.
Yep, there's with only just north of 3 minutes left on the half, there's only so many jams we have left in this game.
It is what it is. You just play the best, right? You do your best, and it's still getting to play roller derby after 2.5 years. So I think everybody's going to come out of this happy.
You know who wins? Everybody.
Everybody wins. Nicholas Rage definitely wins.
Nicholas Rage just has a huge game. This is 9 lead jams for Nicholas Rage this game, 4 this half, and Ice Hurt getting 10 this whole game, 5 this half.
Excellent work. Madison doing a really good job here holding up Nicholas Rage on that pass. Took her a while to get through on that one. Just enough time for Slam now to rejoin the fun on the track. With the star back on her head, she gets some offensive help there and is able to get through on the initial pass. Oh, getting a cue from the bench coach. I think that's Jumping Spider. We're going to run. Nicholas Rage is going to let this run. They might as well. The clock is their friend. They can run it down. And kind of no matter how many points Madison scores, they're sitting pretty over on Windy. So give everybody a good cardio workout, those long jams. Oh no, another track cut assessed to Amper Slam heading back to the box. Power jam, Windy City. Nicholas Cage getting hit to the outside, recycled way back by Hello Sailor. So we're going to take a minute for everybody to take a breath.
Oh, little juke. That was just right. That was just right outside the camera too.
Yeah, we do sort of lose that outside edge on the camera. We're doing the best we can with one static shot. So we'll just do our best to describe what's happening to you in those places. So we've got an official review being called for, I think, by Windy, if the screen across the way is correct. That was 3 points for Slam picked up on that versus 12 for Windy. And Madison's captain's out on the track first, so maybe it's a Madison official review. Windy now just joining. Maybe I will go find out what that is.
Yeah, you'll find out what that is. And I will talk about my favorite things about Chicago. The food. Italian beef sandwich and those hot dogs. I also like Don't they have an aquarium? Yep, I like that. You can see Hammer Abbey running out to the center to see what's going on. You are watching Roller Derby. This is hosted by Madison. This is at Fast Forward in Madison. This is the 8 teams for both Windy City and Madison. Stay tuned after this. We will have game 2. That's approximately start in. It's scheduled to start at 10:50, but that's what time it is now. So that'll take place after this. So be sure to stick around for more Derby. This half has been more evenly matched up in terms of lead jams, but Windy City has been dominating that more as they did in the first half, and that's very important, I think, for this sport, because the lead jammer status, you get to dictate things a little bit more. So that's, but we're seeing good stuff from both teams. Yeah, but anyway, stick around. We'll have game 2 coming up next. But this game is still going, so we got a minute and a half left. And I'm going to turn it back over to the track. Hammer Abbey's running back. I'm going to pass the mic to Hammer Abbey.
All right, I got the hot goss. That was an official review by Madison. They wanted the cut done away with on the jammer at the end there. But the cut will stand. The white blocker managed to just stay in bounds when it happened, so it was still a legitimate cut is basically what it comes down to. They were challenging whether the white blocker had gone out of bounds as well. It didn't happen.
Okay.
So Madison does not retain their official review. I am out of breath, man.
I should have handed you the microphone right as you came running back.
It's okay. It's good for me. All right, so we're back at the action now. Ice Hurt jamming for Windy. Amperslam coming out of the box now for Madison, just as Ice Hurt gets lead. Amperslam taking off the helmet cover, but doesn't need it. Finds the outside line and gets through. Ice Hurt being recycled back by Bada Boombox on the first straightaway. But Ice Hurt finding the inside line. Madison's defense getting a little strung out in these last few jams. Was really, really cohesive and tight for the majority of this game, just struggling a little bit toward the end here to hold things together. Windy mostly struggling with blocker penalties. Slam back now for a scoring pass. Ice Hurt as well. Already has 4 on the board for this jam. That looks like Radio Smacktive, Karma Suture, and Bada Boombox on the defense against Ice Hurt at the front, coming out of turn 2.
So I know the answer to this, but I'm just testing you. If the period clock ends before the jam clock, do we still which one is right?
Jam clock rules. So if the period clock is about to run out, but the jam still has 40 seconds, so the jam takes precedence. So we'll go for looks like Windy will probably run this out for the full jam time, the full 2 minutes. Oh, nope. I lied. Calls it off, but they're going to end it there. I think there is a time constraint here at Fast Forward today. We have to be out by a certain time.
Okay.
So it was done. There's no reason to draw it out at that point anyway. But also just for the sake of this next game having its appropriate amount of time to play out, I think that's why. So what do we got at the end here, Nate?
Let's see. We've got. Let me do some quick math here. 3, 6, 10, 16 lead jams taken by Windy City in the second half. Only 6 for Madison in the second half. And as I mentioned earlier, the lead jam is it's important because that's those you get to dictate how the game goes.
Yep.
But both teams, tremendous work coming out of the pandemic. Putting in the work, putting high scores on the board, and you just love to see that.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the end, everybody wins when we get to play roller derby again. So the final score, 234 for Windy City, 135 for Madison. We're doing high elbows is the tradition, the more sanitary tradition now. So we will take a little bit of a break here. I think we've got the schedule for the next game starts at 10:50 a.m. U.S. Central Time.
Which is 5 minutes ago.
That was 5 minutes ago.
So
Woo! So at some point, we're going to let everybody recombobulate, and there'll be another game, probably pretty quickly here. We'll see if we can find any. We'll go talk to the NSO, see if we can get any stats from that, actual official stats from that last game for you, and we'll share those if we can find them.
right, yeah, we'll share those as soon as possible. But other than that, we will be back out in a little bit. I'm Assassinate.
And I'm Hammer Abby. Don't go anywhere. There's a whole other game yet coming to you here from Madison, Wisconsin, on this fine Saturday morning. We'll be right back.
Amber asking if I will be getting a Home Depot hot dog after this. The answer is yes. It is right across the street.
Yes.
And I was actually thinking about Home Depot hot dogs this morning.
I got hot dogs at home. I'm going to stick with those.
All right, so our next bout will start in about just over 3.5 minutes, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll give you a little color comment. It's okay. I'm still here. It's all right. We're running all of the tech ourselves and stuff too.
Right.
It's a lot. I just figured since we're all hanging here, and I can repeat this again later. We went out and talked to some of the NSOs. Not that we want to like highlight people's penalties, but it's interesting stats. So no one fouled out. That's important. But there was obviously we had a few jams in a row for Windy that were especially hard for penalties. They did have one skater who ended up with 6 penalties at the end. That's number 75, D-Ride, who was working hard out there, doing a lot of good work on the track, but definitely picked up some penalties for it. And we're pretty sure for Madison, the highest was 5 penalties. We think that was Hello Sailor, another absolute workhorse, defensive, offensive player. And you know what? Sometimes that's the trade-off.
Right.
Put yourself out there and you pick up some penalties. Also got Chicago has some obviously a lot of returning players. They do have a few new folks they've added to that A roster. Wanted to call out specifically. I was talking to Jumping Spider, the bench coach, and I think a player on this next roster, Fuzz. Is there a Fuzzkill? Fuzzkill came over from the DuPage Derby Dames. It's a smaller league south of Chicago here in Illinois. Also wanted to specifically say that number 777, Pitbull Princess, descended from Gorgons. Descended from Gorgons.
So a little fun fact for you guys. It's really shows how progressive the game is getting, where you don't have to be 100% descended from humans.
That's true.
You can have some Gorgon ancestry.
Absolutely. I'm all for it. Let's as inclusive as possible. I don't say that part flippantly. I want us to be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah.
But I did like the Gorgon note. That was a.
Let's talk
nice
about
touch.
who's skating.
Who is skating? You kick us off.
All right. We're skating for the Madison B team. We have Ms. Conduct, Rubarbarian, Melee, Ampersland, Lana Del Rage, Slam Chowda, Hoppy Go Lucky, Radio Smacktive, Crystal Ice, Future Trauma, Smack and Cheese, Dammit Janet, Raven Lunatic, Louisville Slugger, Dark Horse, Karma Suture, Wolf Rammer, Antimatter, and Hello Sailor. And you'll see that there is some overlap on the from the A team on this.
Well, as I was mentioning, Madison calling themselves the Herd more than Dairyland Dolls right now. We're still the Dairyland Dolls, but calling themselves the Herd because it's a much more integrated couple of rosters. Excuse me for a second. Yeehaw! So yeah, a lot more crossover. It's just a matter of it's partially due because there's been some attrition during the pandemic and sort of getting back on your feet. People who can play at this level. We've got a ton of new skaters in the league, brand new, who are coming up through the ranks in a much more integrated practice setting, which is fantastic. So in terms of like these higher level A and B games, there's a lot of new faces, especially on the B team, and some folks who've moved up onto that A roster, and a lot more crossover. So now that I've talked a bunch about Madison, let's talk about Windy City. Their B roster today is Flow Rider, Crisscross, Bad Asset, who's an alt, it says, Millie Applebite, Hella Fitzgerald, Braze Satan, we're going to have to pronounce it that way, as in like, the food, Fuzzkill, Jackie Jerkheart, Lunatic Lovegood, Ramen Noodles, Sailor Doom, Vigil Annie, Pitbull Princess, Mary Hatchet, Ginny Wheezy, and Satanic Hispanic. Same list of officials and NSOs working hard out there for us today, and it sounds like we've got a little bit of a change happening behind me, so we'll let you know what that is in just a second. Big thanks, as always, to all of our officials, non-skating and skating, all of the NSOs, all of the volunteers who helped make this work, and of course, special shout out to the one and only John Lane for setting up the stream for us this morning. What do you got?
Just a number change. Dammit Janet will be skating under number 29 instead of 32.
All right. Damn it, Janet.
Some of these names I don't understand until you say them out loud.
I love you. don't get all of the references in roller derby names, but I try. I try to understand them all. As someone whose name is Hammer Abbey, it's mostly referees who get the reference. It's all my fellow like nerdy history buffs and whatnot. But yeah, Hammer Abbey as in the Code of Hammurabi.
Right.
I know you know this. I'm telling the stream. I'm telling the stream. I'm not second guessing your intelligence on this one. Code of Hammurabi. So my original number when you could have alphanumeric numbers was I for I, because the Code of Hammurabi is where we get eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Now it's 141, which is like much more Three Musketeers, but you know. So how did you pick your name, Assassinate?
I wanted, cause my name. So.
I mean, your name is Nate.
My name's Nate, and I wanted to be able to go by Nate.
I think that's true for a lot of people.
You know, and also I thought it was cool to have a violent name because this was back when I picked it back when I was skating.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I wanted to be like.
Yeah.
I thought it would be scary and violent.
Absolutely. Which, one of the nicest guys. But you know, like sometimes you gotta like get yourself into a headspace on the track. You know, you give yourself that name to help you get there. So, let's see, what else we got in the. Looks like we're just about ready to get going here. The teams are all lined up. That's the rolling whistle that'll get us started. Someone from the A team just shouted, "Yay the babies!" Look, we love the fresh faces. I don't know if I would call them babies, though, man. They are adults.
They are adults.
Strong adults. All right, off to the races. Who we got out on the line?
Those adults are Amper Slam, skating for Dairyland Dolls, and Chris Cross, jamming for Windy City in Jam 1 of the second game.
Boy, so Amper Slam, you know, skated in that last game. This is a double header for some of these skaters. That's a lot of work to put in on a Saturday morning. Chris Cross finds an outside line. Doesn't jump, but gets through. I mean, at some point, Chris Cross better jump is what I'm saying.
The Daddy Mac will make you jump.
Chris through, gets 3 points. I saw that.
What if Chris Cross wore her uniform backwards like Chris Cross did?
Well, that I feel like that. Well, I don't know. In skater gear, that might not be the worst. I feel like that would get uncomfortable, but not necessarily like in the way. So we've got 7 points racked up for Windy City as Slam still struggling to get through the pack on turn 3, looking to pass the star and does so successfully to the pivot. Raven Lunatic. Meanwhile, Chris Cross threw for another 4 points on getting around Bada Boombox on turn 4. Raven Lunatic now held up in the pack, holding the star in her hand. Raven Lunatic facing off in the front there against. We're on the near straightaway now. 2 blockers from Windy, now stuck in the tripod. All the packs kind of mixed together here. Crisscross sprung. Raven Lunatic still struggling to find a way through, getting a little bit of offensive help. But that jam is going to end without Madison getting out their jammer, unfortunately. So 15 points. Big jam to start the game.
Big jam for Windy City to start the game. Big momentum right away. Who do we have lining up here?
It looks like Damage Janet for Madison. And I can't see the number yet. We're going to learn. We're going to learn with you as this goes along.
Grace Satan? Is that?
Maybe. Damage Janet through with lead for Madison. Oh. Yes, you are correct. Braze Satan, the jammer for Windy, gets through with a very ballet-like fall, but gets back up pretty quick there. Woohoo! Madison and Windy are getting stopped up in the turn there in turn 1, and Damage Janet emphatically calling off.
Very emphatically. Yelling and doing the waist hip thing.
Yep.
That's the official term for it, waist hip thing?
Waist hip thing, yep, exactly right. Sometimes hard for the refs to see when you are a jammer stuck in a pack. They can't see your arms. You got to be really clear about it. looks like Lana Del Rage jamming for Madison. Fuzzkill, the transfer from DuPage Derby Dames, taking the star for Windy City.
And that is Fuzzkill taking lead jam on this third jam of the game. Lana Del Rey still working her way through the pack. Fuzzkill making on her first scoring pass. Fuzzkill calling off the jam after scoring 4 points in that jam.
Your face is falling apart. This announcing is hard work.
And have you noticed that the allergies are bad this summer?
I don't normally get terrible allergies, and they've been pretty bad. So yeah, I assume they're awful for people who suffer more. Challenges of living. Smack and cheese on the line for Madison. That's going to be Braze Satan again for Windy. Braze Satan finds a quick outside line through for lead. Meanwhile, Flow Rida picking up a forearm but knocking out Smack and Cheese on the outside, making her recycle back. Smack and Cheese threw on the initial pass as Braze Satan picks up first 4 points of this jam for Windy. Gonna go ahead and call that off. Looks like Chicago down at least one blocker, maybe two. Yep, there's a second blocker in the box. So Windy will start this jam with just 2 blockers on the track. Madison at full strength, sending out Amperslam to jam. And I can't see the numbers, Nate.
I'm trying to look at the armband.
Crisscross for Windy. I'm really glad the actual NSOs can see, because I could just look at the sign across the way eventually.
Right.
Amperslam with lead for Madison, being closed in very quickly by Crisscross.
I really appreciate when I'm, as an announcer, behind the jammer line. So I can see the names and numbers right away. Much
easier. Crisscross just slicing through the Madison defense. Slam held up behind the pivot. 426, Jackie Jerkhart. Slam calling it off, though, as the writing is on the wall. Windy will get 8-0 despite not having lead. So an early lead here for Windy City, 32 to Madison's 3.
Got Damn It Janet back out there on the line for Madison. And we've got Vigil Annie, I believe.
You are correct.
For Windy City.
They're getting real cozy on the line with each other there. Both on the inside. And so the Vigil Annie getting stopped by Future Trauma. Thought she had that outside line wide open, but nice work by Future Trauma to slow it down. Raven Lunatic now at the front, doing some great one-on-one blocking. But it's going to be enough. Oh, to pull a track cut on Vigil Annie. Power jam Madison. Raven Lunatic picking up a penalty as well on that scuffle. So Damn It Janet now stuck in the tripod on the far straightaway. Chicago at full strength blockers. So it's going to be up to the offense to try to spring DJ. And they do. She's now got lead. Oh, man. Almost a full minute into that jam before anybody got lead.
This is 100% lead jam status for Damn It Janet so far. 2 for 2.
Nice. Vigilante back on the track now. Damn It Janet fighting in turn 3 to get through. And does, as a penalty is called on a Windy City blocker. So Damn It Janet putting 4 points on the board with that pass. And now I don't remember, did Vigilante have an initial pass? No, that was the initial pass. So DJ able to spend a little time here getting some more points. Does so, calls it off with another 4. So a nice 8-0 jam to redeem the last one for Madison.
That's right. Now bringing the score 14-32, and still in favor of Windy City, but it's still a close game.
We got plenty of time left in the first half. Lana Del Rage jamming for Madison. Will be facing off against Braze Satan. Braze Satan for Windy. Huge pile up. Springs Braze Satan for lead status. I gotta hand it to the Windy's A skaters, all sitting off to the right of camera right for you, cheering their heads off. I can't hear myself think, but
Right,
I can't be mad.
I can't be mad. They're very supportive. Very supportive A team.
You love to see it / hear it in this very low ceilinged space. All right, so we had quick 3 points for Windy City on that jam. Smack and Cheese headed back out to the line for Madison. Will be facing off against someone whose armbands are half rolled up. Fuzzkill for Windy. All right, Smack and Cheese turns their hips. Finds the outside line. That's going to be lead jammer status for Madison. Misconduct call on no one? Nope, just didn't hear it. 238 gets a misconduct, which, no, oh no. So the misconduct call went to 238.
But misconduct.
But the skater misconduct also rolled out thinking it was for her.
Oh no!
She's going to be sent back out and be like, no, that's your name, but you didn't get the penalty. A little confusing. Misconduct, perfectly good skater, a little newer. Takes a minute to get used to all the yells and shouting on the track sometimes.
My first bout, I got an insubordination because I wasn't listening.
Oh.
They were yelling at me.
Yeah, and you were just like in a fugue state.
Right.
I understand. Like, no shade. I'm also laughing a little bit at that one.
Right. Yeah. Like, you're yelling my number at me. Why? Why are you
yelling in this case, you're yelling my name.
Yeah.
Anyway, Smack and She still has lead. Takes a tumble in turn 4 and looks like a high block or forearm on 253 will head to the box. Hella Stirled. Smack and Cheese through for another 4. This is a big jam for Madison for this game. And a power jam as well, is in all of our chatter about that weird penalty. Fuzzkill went to the box. Smack and Cheese dealing with one-on-one at the front there from Jackie Jerkhart. Gets through for a final 4 points. So nice big jam for Madison, putting up 16 to Windy's 8, closing the gap. I'm sorry, 16 to 11, closing the gap a little bit. So 46 for Windy in the lead right now to Madison's 30, but 16 points ain't no thing.
It ain't no thing. 16 points, that's how much you can make that in a jam. We just saw it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Amperslam back on the line for Madison. Wait! And a timeout. Hold on. This is an official timeout. Could be about anything. A little time for everybody to commiserate on the track. See, this is where I would normally do like a sponsor read, on a stream, but we don't have any sponsors.
Come to Fast Forward and skate.
For as long as this place actually is standing, which may not be much longer. Head over to MadisonRollerDerby.org, read about the league, find out about how to join. You can transfer in, you can join as a new skater. We've got a great new program. You can try out skating for 30 days for free. You don't even have to buy gear. They will lend you all the gear you need for free. And then you can decide if you want to stick it out.
Fantastic, because it can be a bit of an initial investment. So having that 30 days to see if you want to do it, that's awesome.
It's pretty great. I'm a big fan. Back to the game. Chris Cross grabbing lead for Windy City. Amperslam now also through. We got a direction of gameplay going to a Madison blocker. Future Trauma headed to the box as Chris Cross hits the pack with some fury. Gets to the front, calls it off before Amperslam has a chance to score, as far as I could tell. 4-0.
You know what this means?
I don't. There are some newer referee hand signals that came about just before the pandemic that I have not had time to memorize.
I've been seeing the Windy City Jammers do this.
Oh, that's another. Okay, so it's a team thing.
Okay.
So it's some team signal. I'm not sure which one that is. You can't see the hand motion that Nate is doing, but it's like a fist into an open palm. I don't think it's meant to be dirty. I assume it's an actual gameplay thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
Braze Satan out front jamming for Windy up against Dammit Janet, pushing up from the rear here. Finds an inside line, gets hit to the out, however. Recycled back a little ways by Ginny Wheezy. The pack's now in turns 1 and 2. Looks like Braze Satan going to find an outside line at the end there and get through for lead. Dammit Janet through now 2. About 3/4 of a track behind. There's that hand signal we were talking about. Woo! Little backwards skating through for the 4 points there for Windy. Yeah, I don't know. It's obviously the jammer is telling their blockers they want them to do something. It could be to hang back as soon as opposed to chasing up ahead and trying to play offense, just to hang back and let them hit and push the pack out.
Right. Yeah. It's not that important for me to know. I just was curious.
I mean, it's fun to learn.
Yes.
And since we're on the stream, we get to talk strategy. We're not giving anything
That's
away
right.
to the players, so we can figure that out. Lana Del Rage jamming for Madison. Millie Applebite hitting the jam line for Windy for the first time tonight. Lana just doing some good old-fashioned weighted sled pushing at the front there into the tripod. Millie also now stuck in the middle of that fray on turn 1. Trying the outside, finds no joy. Finds the inside on turn 2 and is through for lead.
We got a star pass. Looks like a attempted star pass to Wolframmer.
And a high block assessed to Lana Del Rage. The jammer for Madison will head to the box. That star pass gone awry. So Millie Applebite out there all by herself for a power jam for Windy City. Big hit to the inside. Oh, and a back block being assessed to a a white blocker, the Chicago blocker, as their teammates just yell, "Keep playing!"
Keep playing.
Look, again, it's a lot of stimulus to take in when you're first coming up to play at this level. There's a lot of yelling. There's a lot going on. You don't know if you're the one who's gotten the penalty or not.
And do you listen to the fans who are yelling, "Keep playing," or do you listen to the coach?
Right.
If they're,
It can be very confusing. Do you listen? I mean, you gotta listen to the refs to see if you're the one who's been called. But it's a fine balance. You want to listen to the ref, but you don't want to stop doing what you're doing because they may not actually be calling you on a penalty. It could be someone else. So you gotta balance it out there.
What a complicated game.
I know, right? You see the rule book for this thing, man? It's outrageous. Fuzzkill jamming for Windy City. Smack and cheese for Madison. Smack and cheese with lead for Madison. Windy losing a blocker to the box. Fuzzkill now through. Oh, nice spin move from Smack and Cheese. Yeah. Blows through that pack, but gets almost up in the front. Hey! We got excited. Smack and Cheese with some very fancy footwork in turn 2 there to spin around, pick up the points. We got a timeout being called by Windy City. There was some chaos in that one. So Windy down 2 players to the box. Madison down 1, all blockers. I'd have to say, and again, I'm not keeping official stats, but I get the impression Windy doing a much better job of maintaining lead status, getting points. Madison doing a pretty good job with the star passes, getting a few more lead statuses in this game, I think. Windy struggling the most with penalties. Not to say that Madison isn't having their penalty issues, but Windy more often the box is
Right.
pretty full for Windy. So that's the one thing. Like they're struggling with keeping players on the track today, and that could bite you in the butt if the other team gets their offense on point.
And you were talking about lead jammer status, and one thing, like according to my unofficial notes, it's a 6-5 lead. Lead jammer status in favor of Windy City, so it's still it's close. It's close.
That's close. I feel like that's closer than the last game for sure. All right, so our timeout has run its course. We'll be back to the action here at Fast Forward Skate Center in Madison, Wisconsin. That's Amperslam jamming for Madison. Crisscross, gonna make you jump for Windy City. I can go back to that well a few times.
Keep doing it. I'm laughing every time.
I'm doing it for you, Nate. Slam pushing out against the two blockers in the front. Gets knocked over by Ginny Weezy, but is finally released into lead. While Crisscross, now with the helmet cover in her hand, dealing with a whole tripod of Madison's players. Now just two, and finds the inside line. Sometimes you only need a couple inches to squeak through. And she does. Keeps the helmet cover. Ampersand, meanwhile, through for 4 points for Madison. Looks like they're going to push this one and enjoy the low blocker count for Windy. Yeah, there's Ampersand is through for 4, but so is Crisscross. So an 8-4 jam so far. Windy still down 2 blockers in the box. We've been kind of rotating who goes and who stays. Crisscross doing a good job of breaking apart Madison's defense, so they've got all 4 blockers out there, but Crisscross getting them spread out. Some good, solid pack entry.
Ampersand calling it off. That was a jam in favor of Madison. 12 points to 8 points for that jam.
Windy's still slowly opening up that lead, though. 70-46 overall. We got just under 12 minutes, left to play. All I've had this morning was oatmeal and tea, but Damage jamming for Madison. Hella Fitzgerald jamming for Windy. I believe that is Hella's first jam of the day. We got a no pack call. Damn it, Janet battling her way up to the front, but Hella Fitzgerald finds an inside line open, gets through for lead for Windy. Damn it, Janet still struggling to get through on the initial pass. Mary Hatchet and friends in the blocking crew for Windy, doing a really good job of holding on to her until just before turn 3, Janet is through. Meanwhile, Hella Fitzgerald getting through for some points. 3 points. 3 points for Windy City, calling it off.
That's right, 3 points for Windy City, 0 points. That was 0 points for Damn It Janet and the Madison team. All right, we have Lana Del Rage lining up on the track for Madison, and we have, is that Fuzzkill?
Yep.
That is Fuzzkill
Nailed it.
for Chicago. Both jammers working their way through the pack, but it will be Fuzzkill taking lead jammer status. Lana Del Rage still working her way through the pack while Fuzzkill is rounding turns 3 and 4. Lana Del Rage still held up while Fuzzkill is getting some points. Fuzzkill on her first scoring pass picks up 4 points. Looks like Lana Del Rage is contemplating a star pass. And I can't see if it's actually been completed. It looks like the star has been passed. That is Crystal Ice taking the pivot for Madison, taking the star. Lionel Del Rage heading to the penalty box after passing the star. Fuzzkill knocked down on the inside. Turn 3 or 4. Calls off the jam.
Well, when I say point jam for Windy on that one. We're going to end that one with Madison in a little bit of penalty trouble. We've got 2 blockers for Madison in the box. The pivot for Windy also in the box. So no one at full strength to start this one out. The pivot straight being whipped onto the track for Madison. It's going to be Smack and Cheese jamming for Madison and Braze Satan for Windy. And Smack and Cheese finds an inside line. Mary Hatchet tries to stop her, but there's no joy, so that's going to be a lead for Madison. Braze Satan now through the pack as well. Smack and Cheese has about a quarter of a track to play with before. Ooh, lots of pile-ups in the far straightaway. Smack and Cheese gets through for 4 points. Braze Satan hit to the inside and drawn back by Radio Smacktive. And she is now through for 4 points. The box is 1-1. Smack and Cheese finding the inside line open is going to get some points there. Braze Satan gets dinged to the outside but stays inbounds as these packs are moving quickly through turns 3 and 4, stopping again on turn 4, slowing down again. Smack and Cheese through no problem. Both jammers having a pretty okay time of it, getting through until right then misconduct for Madison hits Braze Satan out but goes out with her. So Braze Satan able to come right back in without having to recycle. We've got 12-11 in favor of Madison on this jam. And it looks like Smack and Cheese is going to pick up some more points at the end and call it off. Yeah, got the full 4 at the end. So 16-11 in favor of Madison on that jam. Lots going on.
Yeah, there's skaters coming in, skaters coming off the track, skaters coming in the track. Penalty box shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Amperslam jamming for Madison. Crisscross back out there for Windy City. Madison down 2 blockers to start this one. Windy at full strength. Crisscross takes advantage and is through at turn 1. Amperslam still stuck, heading into turn 2.
Oh!
Woo! Amperslam through.
Radio Smacktive, fancy footwork coming in off the penalty.
I missed it. I just saw a tussle out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, Radio Smacktive came in from the penalty, did a sweet little hop and a jump, and it looked cool. It looked cool.
Absolutely. That counts. 4 points to 0 for Windy on that. We were at 96-62 with 6 minutes left in the first half of this B-team game. Thank you all again for joining us this morning. Damn it, Janet's been having a pretty good morning on the line for Madison up against Jackie Jerkhart for Windy. Is this Jackie's first jam as the jammer?
I believe so.
I know I've talked about her as a blocker. Oh, there she goes. Jackie Jerkhart coming into turn 1, manages to find the inside line. He's going to have lead for Chicago. Chicago losing 1 blocker to the box. Damn it, Janet has the helmet cover in her hand as she re-enters the track, getting recycled back. Running into a tripod, heading into turn 2. A little bit of help coming from Louisville Slugger, trying to play some offense, but they are getting battered and will have to recycle back. And someone on the sidelines is singing New Kids on the Block, and I'm here for it.
They are on tour again, aren't they?
I do believe you're correct. They put out a single this year with En Vogue, Salt and Peppa, and Rick Astley.
Oh, fantastic! That's great.
All right, nice jam for Windy there, 4-0, and Nate, I'm gonna have to hand this to you. I'm
Absolutely.
so sorry.
Yeah, go.
I have to.
Take care. All right, so Windy City taking this game as well, at least so far, passing the century mark, scoring 100. We've got an official timeout, it looks like. or a team timeout. Let's see, both teams getting their share of lead jam statuses. We have 10 lead jams for Windy City. We have 7 for Madison. These are not official stats. They're just things I've been writing down. So I'm not sure what that timeout was for.
Sometimes you just need to take a time out and chit
All
chat.
right. Yep.
Oh, sending out Such.
All right, so that's Karma Suture on the line for Madison, and Ray Satan on the line for Windy City. Both jammers still working their way through the pack, but it is Karma Suture taking lead jammer status.
It is no walk in the park. Ray Satan out through on their initial pass.
Karma Suture picking up 4 points and calling off the jam.
All right, so we got about 3.5 minutes left to play in this game, first half of this game. 66 to 100, Windy hitting the centennial mark. Madison will send out Smack and Cheese to face off against Fuzzkill. Windy down 1 player to the box. Madison at full strength. Smack and Cheese finds a middle lane open. We'll get lead jammer for Madison. And a track cut being assessed to Fuzzkill for Windy will give Madison a power jam opportunity. We'll see if they can take advantage. And we've got a cut being assessed to a Madison blocker, but Smack and Cheese through for her first points. 4 points for this. Windy at full strength for blockers. Madison's blockers trying to play a little bit of offense. We're all jumbled up in the far straightaway. Smack and Cheese stuck behind all of the blockers right now. A little bit of offense coming up to break apart that pack. Smack and Cheese at turn 4 almost gets through and does get through. Was gonna get stopped again there, but the pack got too strung out, had to reform. And then we will get a destruction call out of that. Smack and Cheese with a nice strong hit in at turn 4. Calls off the jam after picking up another 4 points. So pretty solid jam for Madison, taking advantage of the power jam there, 12 to 0.
That's right. It'll be another power. It'll be a power start on this next jam.
And we've got an official review being requested by Windy City. Do you want to go next time?
Yeah. What?
Do you want to go or do you want me to go for the official review?
Oh, you go. Sorry, there's a bit of a confusion between Hammurabi and myself about who was going to go down there and get the deeds. And as you can see, Hammurabi's down there finding out what's happening. Again, you're watching Roller Derby. These are the B teams for Windy City in white and Madison Dairyland Dolls in blue. This is the second bout of this morning. Thank you for tuning in. I am Assassinate. My colleague is Hammurabi.
All right. So Wendy requested a review of the insubordination call that was made on their jammer, who's currently in the box. The call will stand. There was some question as to whether the skater got the appropriate signal in cue for the first penalty, but it was agreed that they had, and stayed on the track too long after that first penalty, and hence was assigned the insub. Okay, now I caught my breath.
All right, that is Amperslam taking lead jammer status in this power jam. The Fuzzkill is out of the jammer, out of the penalty box though, on her initial pass.
Oh, too soon. That was a back block.
Too soon. That was a back block. Fuzzkill going back to the penalty box. Amperslam picking up 4 additional points, 4 points. Take advantage of this power jam while we can. Ooh. Windy City doing a good job of holding back Amperslam from picking up a couple points here, but she makes it through, picking up 4 more points.
Yeah, I was going to say, hit Pitbull Princess and just went down like a bag of rocks. Pitbull, very solid. But Amperslam with a really nice move on the outside line there, just stayed in bounds to get through. So we'll get 8 points on that jam to 0 for Windy.
Or for Madison.
Oh, it's 8 for Madison, 0 for Wendy. Thank you. So Wendy's still sitting at 100 points to Madison's 86, chipping away at that gap a little bit here as we come into the final seconds of the first half. We will get one last jam in this half of the game. Chris Cross finding an outside line, gets lead status for Windy. Damn it, Janet still stuck at the back of the pack looking for the helmet pass. She does it. The pivot, Crystal Ice now taking the star. Nice helmet pass. Oh, but Windy doing a great job holding the inside line open for Chris Cross. Going to score 4 easy points.
We got the pivot cover out on the track after turn 2.
Oh, ref sees it, pulls it away. That's good. Good safety. Crystal Ice through for 4 points for Madison. Another 4 for Windy, though. It's going to be an 8-4 jam in their favor. Chris Cross being told to call it off so we can head into our 5-minute intermission. That makes a lot more sense. We don't have a ton of time left today. So we'll try to fit in the second half of this game as quickly as we can before I believe we've got to get out of here around like noon. So this may be a truncated second half of the game, depending on how things go.
Right, yeah. We only have 12 minutes till noon if that's the case.
Yeah. I think the hard out is 12:30, so it just depends on how much cleanup this might require. We got to pull up the tape and everything. This is the trick. This is the trick. This is a skate rink that has other events that happen. So I think there's a little bit of a conference happening right now with the captains and the refs to discuss how they want to handle the second half of this game, to see how much gameplay we can get in. So we'll keep you posted.
In the most recent jams, Madison has been closing the gap a bit. So at the end of the first half, it's 90 points to Windy City's 108. Both teams getting lead jammer status a fair amount of times, which, as I mentioned before, helps. You can help dictate the pace of the game and that sort of thing.
You say that seeing the slightly more even split in who's had lead is reflected in that score.
Right.
Certainly. Windy doing a little bit better, but not overwhelmingly unbalanced in that way today. So, well, we've got a minute. I'll say again a special thanks to all of our refs, all of our NSOs, all of your volunteers who keep us skating. Couldn't do it without them. Thanks to everybody who is watching on the stream. Thanks to everybody who came out today in person for this semi-closed friendly match between two long-time frenemies. All right, we got word here. Hold on a second. We're going to find out from one of the refs what's going on. All right, it does sound like they are going to shorten the second half of this game. What are we at?
All right, due to time constraints, I'm told that we are going to go for a 20-minute running clock for the second half.
So No stopping for
No
any
stopping.
funny business. No official
No
reviews or
shenanigans.
timeouts. No shenanigans. No behavior. Yeah, right on to Warrior in the chat. Big thanks to John Lane for making this stream happen this morning. We always, between John Lane and working with Hinckley Productions for our home teams, we end up with some, like, really good production values. Even for slightly more informal games like this. Want to thank Windy City for making the trip out. Coming up I-90 today. I'm sure they were happy to get out of Chicago on Lollapalooza weekend, though. It's a
Is it Lala?
little cray-cray this
Yeah.
weekend, I'm sure. Especially for Chicago residents, they're probably over it.
Sure.
We look forward to it again, though. It's really nice to get back to play Derby. Again, I want to just shout out to anybody on the stream. Check out MadisonRollerDerby.org to find out information about how to get involved in the league and or donate to our venue fund, because there's a very good chance we're going to lose this practice space, and we've already lost our bouting space, our regular one, so we are on the hunt for new creative ways to be able to play out in public and make sure we get to continue to practice. I know it's a story we've heard for so many leagues, so do whatever you can to support your local league for sure. If you got a little extra love to throw our way, we'd certainly appreciate it.
And forgive me if I'm telling tales out of school, but it would be a tax deductible.
You are
donation?
correct. Madison Roller Derby is a nonprofit, a 501c3 or 501c4. I forget which one, but you can write it off when you donate.
So any millionaires out there who want a
Yeah, right.
nice little tax cut, send $1 million. Send $1 million.
Be great. We'd appreciate that. Seems very, very possible. Whoever just got the winning $1 billion lotto ticket.
Yeah.
That was someone in Illinois, apparently.
Was it?
Yeah. Donate part to Windy City and the other part to Madison.
Right.
And maybe, you've got $1 billion, so maybe donate it to all roller derby leagues. Split it up between all roller derby leagues. Maybe that person who won is a roller derby person. We
and
can
then,
hope.
And then, you know what? Whoever it is, buy something special for yourself too.
Yeah, just get yourself a nice meal.
Nice.
Stay at a hotel that's got a hot tub.
Right.
Treat yourself. And spend the rest of that $1 billion on roller derby. All right, we're going to get back to the derby action here momentarily. Like we said, it's just going to be a 20-minute half due to time constraints with the venue. Now I'm going to go get some lunch.
You can go to one of our sponsors, Home Depot, for a hot dog.
We should get Home Depot as a sponsor, for
We
real.
should.
I mean, we probably buy a lot of tape for the tracks and
right.
stuff from them. I bet they carry it. All right, we are back to the action on the track. Lana Del Rage jamming for Madison. Going to face off against Braze Satan for Windy. Braze Satan making short work of the defense on the inside line. Lead jammer, first one of the second half, going to Windy. Everyone knows it's windy.
I was thinking that song this whole time, but I didn't know if anyone else would know what I was talking about.
I got you. Huge pile up on turn 2. Braze Satan through for the first 4 points of this jam. Lana Del Rage now passing the star to the pivot for Madison. That's going to be, I believe, Radio Smacktive. So Windy's got 8 on the board now. We've got a little jammer face-off going on as we come around to turn 4. Pack moving slowly. Dio coming up against Millie Applebite and friends. Gets stopped in her tracks, but Braze Satan through for another 4. But Dio does pick up 2 on that pass.
And Dio does. You know what? Well, here's a fun Dio fact.
What?
She has a very impressive porch garden on her deck.
I take it you've experienced the porch garden?
I've seen pictures of it. And
Awesome.
Yeah, we're garden friends.
Excellent. It's good to have garden friends. Smack and Cheese on the line for Madison. Crisscross for Windy. Both hard-working jammers today. Crisscross on 1 foot on the outside line is going to get through and get lead. Smack and Cheese gets taken out by Jackie Jerkhart, but does recover from it. Oh, doesn't recover. Track cut gets pulled. Smack and Cheese headed to the box, so Windy City now with the power jam opportunity.
And crisscross through for 4 more points, or 4 initial points.
I always want to say more, but it's like, I mean, like in the game.
It's more than 0.
Yeah, overall in the game,
Yeah.
it's more.
Crisscross doing that mysterious signal.
We'll find out someday. Windy down 1 blocker in the box, an emphatic sign from the bench coach for Windy to call that one off. There was jumping right there in the name, Jumping Spider. So Windy will start this next one. Oh, on a power jam, but it looks like there was a track cut assessed to Windy's jammer at the very, very end of that. Crisscross now in the box, so
Both jammers starting in the box.
both
sorta.
jammers starting in the box, but they will release Smack and Cheese immediately since she was there first. A little bit of offensive help there from Dio and Wolframmer, so pretty quick lead call there for Smack and Cheese and Madison. Still on a power jam. Louisville Slugger, nice little offense there to try to open things up for Smack and Cheese, but Windy doing a really good job of recycling their pack to stay in front on turn 2, but they will have to let Smack go as the pack dissolves.
And who is that? Sailor Doom making it her initial pass through the pack. No points. And Smack and Cheese picking up 4 more points.
That's actually, that is still Crisscross. I'm not sure why the board says Sailor Doom. Crisscross is still the jammer for Windy City. Fair
Okay.
mistake to make. They just have the wrong name up on the board over there. Crisscross came in from that penalty, has rejoined. But Smack and Cheese does have lead. Nice little spin move on turn 3 brings Smack and Cheese for a final 4 points, but Crisscross able to steal 2 at the end. So all told, a 16-8 jam in favor of Madison puts them at 108 to Windy City's 132.
Madison breaking the century mark in that one.
15 and a half minutes left in this shortened second half. Still enough time to Madison to pull this out if they keep up the momentum, but Windy with a pretty okay lead.
We've got Amber Slam skating for Madison on the line against Braze Satan, and it is Braze Satan of Windy City taking lead jam status.
Yeah, Braze Satan finding just the tiniest crack of light on the inside line to get through, while Amber Slam was being held up by Windy City's blockers. As the pack gets moving, coming out of turn 2, that leaves some space for Braze Satan to get through and score points.
Amber Slam looking to do a star pass, perhaps.
Yeah, Slam still stuck in the pack, looking to pass the star to the pivot, Karma Suture, who's being held away, but does finally pick it up. There was some nice one-on-one blocking from Flow Rider, who was keeping Karma from being able to grab that star for a little while.
And that is Raven Lunatic now taking the star, but the jam is called off.
Oh, I misread. That was not Karma Suture. You're absolutely right. Raven Lunatic. Similar hair.
Sometimes that's how you can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Masks, man. You love them. Do make facial recognition
Right.
difficult.
I think we can appreciate the need for masks and also not like wearing them.
Yep.
You can do both.
Yep. ¿Por qué no los dos?
Right, Damn It Janet and Jackie Jerkhart both lining up on the line. And it is Damn It Janet taking lead jammer status.
Nope. That's going to be a cut, unfortunately.
Just kidding.
No, it looked like it.
Yeah.
Janet cut the track on the outside of that first straightaway, so power jam. However, star pass going to Millie Applebite. I don't think Windy saw that the penalty was happening, so they went ahead and passed. So no lead jammer for this jam. Millie Applebite will be out there working for the rest of it. And she is through on the inside line at turn 3 for 4 points. All the packs at a standstill in turn 3, waiting for Millie Applebite to come back around on this power jam.
Yep. And I see Damn It Janet standing up and about to re-enter the pack. But like you said, this will go the full 2 minutes.
Slowly pushing the packs into turn 3. Damn It Janet hustles her way around the outside on that one and is through. And a cut being assessed to Millie Applebite will send her to the penalty box. So, 1 for 1.
Yeah, dueling track cut penalties.
Power jam to Madison. See what they can make some hay with this. And we've got a blocker.
Another track cut for Windy City, 999.
Ooh, Damn It Janet playing some of her own offense. Does pick up 4 points. So now the packs, you can't see them. They are on turn 3, slightly out of camera range. Moving back into it now as Damn It Janet comes around on a pass, stays to the outside. Comes up hard. Hard hit against, who was that? You can't see the number from here, but man, solid. 253. Hella Fitzgerald, like a, she's a brick house.
Yep.
Oh man, again, like respect to the blocker and nothing but sympathy for the jammer when that happens. We have a timeout being called by Windy. Thought we weren't going to do timeouts in the second half, but apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean.
They're going to let the clock run, I think.
Yeah, so a timeout, but not a timeout.
Right. It's like the time is still counting down, but you can take a breather if you like. Things were getting a little hairy on the track.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of feel that energy, so I can see you taking just a second to reset. Windy will start this next one down 1 blocker in the box. Madison at full strength.
I think, and I'm no expert, but I think when you start seeing more penalties, it's a sign that maybe they need to slow down and take a breath. And there's some exhaustion probably happening.
Yeah, it can be exhaustion. It can be just a mental thing where there's kind of like a cascading effect. You start getting penalties. You feel weird about the penalties. You get a little like panicked or a little bit angry or whatever it is, and then that just kind of builds on it, and you get more penalties. So you got to interrupt that cycle sometimes by just taking a minute. You're absolutely right. It could be any combination of those things. Sometimes it's just strategic too. You're in a game where we weren't running the clock. Sometimes you just want to take a timeout to make sure there's more time for more jams. All right, that's the end of that. 10.5 minutes left in this short second half. Lana Del Rage on the line for Madison, Chris Cross for Windy City. Bit of a pile up on the near straightaway here is going to result in a Madison blocker headed to the box and crisscross through with lead for Chicago. Oh, Madison down 2 blockers now. And a Windy blocker will join them. So we took the break, but the penalties are still happening. That's just how it goes. Oh, Madison down to 1 blocker on the track.
Oh, woof. That's going to be tough. That's tough.
And a jammer out. So power jam now for Windy City, and a power jam against a single blocker. That's going to be Crystal Ice, who hits Chris Cross to the outside. Does a good job of holding on for a couple seconds there, but Chris Cross through for another 4 points. Full penalty box for Madison.
And Crystal Ice is off the track now. Everybody gets a penalty today.
You get a penalty. You get a penalty. Raven Lunatic trying to do some nice backwards blocking against Chris Cross. Recycles her back. I don't think Chris Cross noticed that Raven Lunatic went out of bounds. Could have come in a little sooner, but hard to keep track of that in the thick of things. Four more points for Chris Cross and Windy. Lana Del Rage back on the track for Madison is up against Lunatic Lovegood, Satanic Hispanic, and Ramen Noodles for Windy City, doing some really good blocking work, making Rage's life a little unpleasant right now as we head into turn 1 and 2. Chris Cross back around. Little spin move on turn 2 is going to get through and pick up some points. This is a huge jam for Chris Cross.
Huge jam for Chris Cross.
20 points for Windy City, 0 for Madison. That could be the jam that is the nail in the coffin on this game. 166 to 115 with just 8 minutes left. It'd be a hard work to make up that gap.
Well, we'll see if Smack and Cheese can pull something off here.
Absolutely. It ain't over till it's over. That's Braze Satan for Windy. Smack and Cheese, as was stated, for Madison. Both teams with one blocker in the penalty box right now. Wolframmer hitting Braze Satan to the outside. Recycles her back a little ways, but Braze Satan gets right back into the fray without too much trouble and picks up lead for Windy. Pack slowed down in turn 2. Madison forming a tripod trying to stop Braze Satan in her tracks, hits her to the outside. Smack and Cheese still caught up, finds an inside line. A little bit of fancy footwork, and she is through on her initial pass. Pack's moving now quickly over into turn 3, and then stopping. Oh, big offense from Satanic Hispanic opens up a window of opportunity for Braze Satan, picks up another 4.
And Smack and Cheese heading to the penalty box. Oh, nope, just kidding. I thought...
Psych.
I was just testing everybody.
Were you all paying attention? Smack and Cheese caught up on the first straightaway behind the Windy blockers, trying to find the inside line, but is going to get pushed out while Braze Satan, dealing with Wolframmer and Radio Smacktiff at the front, takes a big fall but is up and back at it with more points on the board for Windy.
What if skaters put their number on their mask?
Ooh. That's not a bad idea. All right, pretty hard hit and fall at the end there for Braze Satan, but she's back up. So 14 to 4 for Braze Satan on that jam for Windy City. 6 minutes left. And I was going to say the box is clear. The box is clear. Looked like two skaters were like headed that way, and then...
Yes, both teams at full strength on jam 7 of the second half.
Vigilante jamming for Windy. Amperslam for Madison. Vigilante finds an inside line, but then finds Crystal Ice, who's going to recycle her back into turn just before turn 1. Everybody, Amperslam out front. Gets lead jammer status for Madison after fighting valiantly through strong Windy pack. Vigilante still stuck at turn 2. Is going to get recycled back again. Amperslam through that pack without like a hot knife, or a knife through a hot cliche, a hot knife through cliche. I forget. It was one of my favorites. Amperslam now back around for some more points. Vigilante just stuck out there behind Antimatter and Raven Lunatic and Melee. And a star pass to the pivot for Windy.
Ginny Wheezy. That is Ginny Wheezy.
Madison's going to call that one off with a few more points at the end there. Nice work by Amperslam in the Madison pack. 11 points unanswered by Windy on that jam. 130 to 180. Still a comfortable lead for Windy City as we head into the final 4 minutes of this game.
Right, the final 4 minutes. This could just be a matter of 2 or 3 more jams.
Enjoy them while they last, kids. Damn it, Janet jamming for Madison up against Chris Cross. Oh, damn it, Janet with a huge smackdown. And some pistol fingers. Oh, but Chris Cross through the, I'm sorry, yep, Chris Cross through, gets in front of DJ. Woo-hoo-hoo. It was too much action for me to keep up with on that one. Damn it, Janet with a huge hit to get lead for Madison. Then Chris Cross got through and passed her on the first scoring pass, so forced the call off.
Right. but I had to. I loved those. I love the finger guns.
Yep. Celebrate every victory, especially Damage Janet on the smaller side. Not not a person of huge stature.
Right.
Very satisfying. I can say this as a smaller person when you
Sure.
can just knock someone over like that. Especially as a jammer when usually you're the one getting knocked over.
Right.
So big ups. Braze Satan with lead for Windy on this. Lana Del Rage has lead for Madison, but is behind and is going to call it off because Braze Satan got ahead. I got to give credit to the Windy Jammers. Even when they're behind, they're not lead. They're very good at just turning the jets on and catching up, if not surpassing. We've said it before. We'll say it again. It's like you don't stop until it's truly done. No matter where you're at, you gotta go all out.
Through the fourth whistle, or whatever they say.
Yeah. Smack and Cheese on the line for Madison again. Crisscross also again for Windy. Oh, a nice little sort of surfed over the back of the Madison blocker there, through for lead for Crisscross. Smack and Cheese not too far behind, maybe a quarter of a track, putting on the jets herself to catch up. Crisscross finds the outside line. It's a nice place to go. Smack and Cheese also through. Jackie Jerkhart being assessed a cut will go to the box for Windy. It's a 4-4 jam so far as the packs move quickly into the far straightaway. Smack and Cheese. Nice work getting through. Passes Crisscross.
Crisscross looking to the bench. Should I call it? Yes, she should.
All right, we got enough time for at least one more jam in here. 2 if it's quick. I'm going to assume probably just 1. So this is probably the last jam of the game. Thank you again, all of you, for joining us this morning. Madison Roller Derby thanks Windy City Rollers for visiting us on this fine Saturday, this fine summer day, for a little roby-doby.
Yeah, nice way to spend a Saturday morning. We've got an Amper Slam skating for Madison, and Braze Satan skating for Windy City. It is Amper Slam taking lead jammer status.
So Madison cannot win this game at this point, but always nice to go out on a high note with a lead call. Big pile up heading into turn 1. Amper Slam on her scoring pass. Braze Satan coming around now too. The pack's getting real gummed up between turns 1 and 2. Huge pile up. Braze Satan thinks she's through clean, but is going to get a track cut. Future Trauma, Raven Lunatic snuck back on her on that one. So it is a power jam now for Amper Slam and Madison as we head into the final moments of this game. Period clock will run out. This jam will be the last. There's about a minute left in the jam. Amper Slam being left to her own devices up front. There's some offense. Crystal Ice, Raven Lunatic trying to push the pack out. Mostly just moving both packs into the near straightaway now. Let's say Slam skating in both games, working real hard today. Understandably looking a little bit tired. Still doing good work, picking up points.
Yeah, not stopping until the very end.
Braze Satan back on the track, as you can tell, because the packs have started to move. Oh, and another cut on Braze Satan right after she re-entered after that penalty. So we're going to end this with the power jam for Madison. See if that offense can open things up for Amper Slam here as we head toward turn 3. Pack getting a little spread out. There it is, there it is. Madison Benz cheering on Slam. As she gets through, she's got 8 points on the board for this jam. She's been working hard. Pack's rolling up to turn 4.
And that is the game. Of course, this is an unofficial score, but I think it's safe to say that this is going to this game as well as going to Windy City. And thanks to Chicago for making this trip.
Absolutely. 192 to 146 in favor of Windy City's B team. Lots of hard work by both teams out there today. Lots of hard work by our always hardworking officials. And I think we'll sum up our talkie talk and just let the camera roll out on the end here. But thank you all again for joining us. We super appreciate it from all over the world.
Yes.
Literally. We hope to see you again next time. Keep an eye on Madison's social media. We will always post the link to stream when we've got one, and we try to have one for every game like this. Again, MadisonRollerDerby.org to find out more. And yeah, just nothing but love and gratitude to everybody. And stay safe out there, y'all. I have been Hammer Abby.
And I have been Assassinate.
That's us. It's been swell, but the swelling's gone down.
That's good. That's good.
I wish I could say it was mine, but it's from Tank Girl.
Okay.
Anyway, it's been a blast. It's been fun.
It's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.